soreness equals a good workout. I mean, I fell for this hard, really, really, really hard, thinking, if you didn't feel the soreness the following day, did it really work? Was it really useful? Did I waste my time? Right? And so we feel this disappointment because that soreness doesn't exist. But this comes from fitness culture associating pain with effectiveness. The old adage of no pain, no gain, which I'm sure we're all familiar with. Very similar to the cardio, where like you need to burn as much as you can, or sweat is your body crying, or fat leaving the body. Very similar sort of sentiment, right? Group classes and influencer workouts designed to maximize fatigue, soreness, like hammering your body, these types of things. And then when beginners actually, first start, like when you first start training, remember the soreness that you felt in the beginning? And so you assume you should always feel that way. Well, no, that's not the case. Um, we actually don't, feel that soreness all the time. As your body adapts, as you get used to, the movements that you're doing, as you eat well, as you recover, right, that soreness starts to dissipate. So why is this a myth? That, as I sort of touched on, soreness actually reflects novelty, right? Tissue damage, not necessarily the quality of your workout. You can make excellent progress with minimal soreness. You don't have to be sore, right? We need to stop equating this soreness to effectiveness, And so also thinking about the other end of the spectrum, if you're always sore, what does that say about your recovery? What does that say about your potential consistency, right? Walking into the gym, or even would you even get to the gym if you're super sore? Oftentimes that's a deterring factor for a lot of people. Peter, I know you can attest to this, right? Where clients have kind of started off training. This is their first time getting into the gym. They feel so sore, and they're like, "I'm not going to go today. I'm too sore."
Well,
I'm sure
exactly.
you.
And I think this is actually, I was so amazed the first time when someone here, I won't name any names, not within the group, but sort of when I first sort of started coaching in Saudi. And there's been times where people have had like MRIs or X-rays from just a session, right? They've started, they're a beginner, they feel that soreness, and that kind of gives or sends alarm bells. And as Marvin said, that is the expectation that carries through, right? Okay, if I started, I got really, really sore. Now I'm working out and I don't feel any soreness. Therefore, maybe something's wrong and I'm not training hard enough, or maybe the program's useless or whatever it is. And there can be, yes, many different variables. This isn't to say that, you should feel like you train, right? You don't want a kind of debilitating soreness where you can't, hold the phone to your ear or, put your hand over your head. That kind of calms with time. There is that feeling that you sort of you have done something, I think, is generally what we want as your body adapts to the stimulus and it becomes well trained, right? Because ultimately training just conditions your body to sort of recover faster, to be stronger, all of this. And I think that getting to that point is, I think, a milestone in itself, right? Where your body has adapted to training loads, frequency, volume, etc.
Yeah, Peter, as you were talking, I just remembered a story of being 16 years old in boarding school, and one of my friends wanting to, start training, start getting into the gym, and so on. Oh, I can do this, I can do everything. He was so sore the following day. He was drinking tea with a straw, and we made fun of him for a good 2 to 3 years. But what's the actual solution, or what's the truth, right, to this matter, or to this soreness myth? Progress is actually better measured through strength, performance, energy, recovery, consistency, not soreness. Your effective training, as Pete said, should challenge you. You want to feel like you've worked out, you've challenged your body. You walk out of the gym feeling like, okay, yeah, I did work hard, but not crawling out of the gym and being completely broken and destroyed. And you want it to still then aid you in your recovery, right? If you're too sore and you can't recover from it quick enough for you to then train again, then what's the point? What does that do to your consistency? And this myth makes sense, right? You are spending an hour of your time, dedicating an hour of your day to training. Therefore, it must be hard, right? And so I would imagine that, for someone that's new to this, or this is novel to them, it makes sense. And yet in reality, it definitely is not how it actually is.
Yeah, if anything, I
In,
think when you get to sort of peak athletic levels, for example, the extremes in the sports and everything, they are training to not get sore. They want to be able to recover from the volume that they're doing so that they can go again the following day. So soreness actually is a limiter to them building their performance and strength, and actually then has all sorts of other sort of risks of injury creeping in as well. So we'll get on to in a moment, actually, sort of, it's not about not chasing soreness and not chasing difficulty. There's obviously sort of
This
a
is a good spot.
principle to focus on.
Yes, there's definitely a fine line.